Okay, we are live now.
Yes.
Welcome, good evening. Welcome to the International Live of Esmach. Tonight we talk about Esmach Lab. We talk about bread and pizza and how optimize the production and reduce working hours. I present you Gino Rodriguez. Hi, Gino.
Hi, everybody.
Gino is owner of Crusca in Bogotà. It's the first Esmach Lab in South America. And we have Alberto. Alberto is the export manager of Esmach. Welcome, Alberto.
Ciao, hello everybody.
I leave you at your live, and I will interrupt you to ask a question from audience. Thank you, and to you.
Thank you, Stefano. So, Gino, first of all, thanks to be here. And we are happy to have you here because, as Stefano was saying, you were the first one in South America having the Esmach Lab. So,
yeah.
Tell us a bit, where is you born, what you produce, how you get ideas of getting the Esmach Lab in South America and in Bogotá.
Yeah. Well, I was born and raised in Colombia, in Bogotá. But after like the college, I went to Italy to study. I was not a bread in the bread sector, or I was in. I started working in Italy in consulting, but I got the passion for the bread, for the artisan bread, that I didn't know when I was living in Colombia, because in Colombia we didn't have at that time like the quality bread. It was all like highly refined flours and yeast, and so I found like the European breads with the crust and everything fascinating, and I start baking at home while I was living in Italy, and then I noticed that there was very nice potential for this kind of breads in Colombia, and since it was like I had the first on hand, like the stores. There were several stores in Italy that I was a frequent customer of them, like Bistro Stazione in Milano, remember, and Italy's, and this baker in Milano as well. I was living in Milano, and so there was Princi as well, and so I got like I start like dreaming of having a store like that in Colombia, of opening a store like that in Colombia. That was the idea.
So before that, there was no big knowledge of Italian bread or of Italian pizzas and focaccias in Bogotá.
No,
right?
there was no that. It was a lot of there were, since I have my family here, I usually came like every 2 years to Colombia, and I noticed that the like all this kind of sector was controlled or was managed by the French. So there was a lot of French bakeries, but there were not like pizza, or especially the pizza, the long one, like the pizza la pala. And so basically there were no pizza or focaccia, the long one. And but I know that many people appreciated these kind of products, especially the people that have traveled and have like tasted all these products. So I said, well, it's a good opportunity to start like a small store. But I had no experience on bakeries or managing like a bakery production and things like that. Yeah.
So all your products now, all Crusca products are just Italian way, let's say.
Yeah, it is like the Italian recipes. They have also like semolina, which is semola raffinata, and that had not been used for breads or pizza in Colombia. Still, the pizzas are not doesn't have like a semolina or semolina flour. Yeah.
And how is the feedback from Colombian people? I mean, do they like it? Do they understand?
The products are really a success in the sense that the people appreciate and they notice the difference on the style of bread. So since there's a lot of presence of French bakeries, as I said, now the people notice the difference in when you use like a whole semolina bread or the pizza with the semola, they notice like that it's the crust and all the flavor is different. Also the olive oil, so it's
so you import all your ingredients from Italy, also the raw materials coming from Italy, or you find there in Colombia?
Well, there's some we can find some many of the Italian products in Colombia. But for the flour, I use local local flour, and the semolina. It's now you can find the Italian semola. For example, there's some brands from the south, and also there's like a high quality semola from La Molisana.
Okay. Which is the best products? Which is the best things that the Colombian guy likes from your products? Like more bread or more focaccias? Which is the best seller? Let's say.
Well, since in Colombia there's a lot of like French baguettes, French breads, and or whole wheat flour bread, but there's no focaccia. So basically, the focaccia it's like the main product that this all this idea brought, and the people appreciate a lot the focaccia, the long one, the plain without just with salt, with sea salt. That's the main product. Yeah.
Okay. So if I'm not wrong, you started these new things like 5 or 6 years ago, right?
Yes.
Okay. And I remember Stefano told me what I like more than that is that Stefano came to Bogotá and teach to one of you girls without any experience about how to bake it, how to use the lab, and it's just the products you can get it even if you don't have big experience in that.
Yeah, in a matter of like 10 days maybe, but we managed to get the idea and the production flow in days, and none of the three, because I didn't have any bakery before. I just have my
passion,
home baking experience, and the employees were like they were technically trained for bread, but the bread consumed in Colombia, which is as I said, it's not a long fermentation bread. It's just like plain yeast and highly refined flours. So this was a different type of bread and a different process, and we got it in 10 days. Yeah.
So we can say you've been a good teacher.
Yeah, and in fact, there's after that, there's one of the employees that is still working, and she's very committed to like the bread produced in this way with the sourdough, with all the process, and she's since the beginning of the Esmach Lab, she's still in the sector, and she became almost like a super bread guru
So all your products have been made by sourdough. So you just use liquidase machine. Liquidase.
Yeah, the Licoli, no?
Yeah. Okay. So but do you know it before? or just because you came to Italy? I mean, this is something that Colombians
No,
understand.
no,
All
no,
right.
no. And in the last years before I opened my store, there were a lot of French bakeries that I used like pasta madre and sourdough, but there were some that were very like target for non-sugary bread or dough. But in reality, I noticed that not being a baker in Italy, mostly all the breads are with no sugar. So these bakeries were selling like we made the bread without sugar, and it was like a special bread. It was very very well received here, but in reality, there were no breads with sugar also in Cruzca, no?
Yeah. Tell us something about, I mean, which kind of locals Cruzca is like? It's just a bakery, is inside a restaurant or something, so you got also some other products, or
It's inside highly affluent people from business. So it is more in a business sector. But after that, I started having like deliveries of the bread to institutions, for example, schools.
Okay.
I managed to produce some of the products to the school. So it was baked in the morning, and there were some sandwiches for like with the focaccia bread, and they were sold in two schools, and they were sent from the Esmach Lab directly from the store.
Yeah. So also in Colombia now you're moving, because in Europe we're going to takeaway places. And so the concept like Esmach Lab is really good for that, because more places you can get different kind of products, just bake during the day, during the morning, take away, and that's it. So
Yeah.
we're moving all the tensions to the laboratory and not on the space anymore.
Yeah.
So this something's coming also in Colombia, in South America in general.
Yeah, there's some bakeries also that are like configuring that way, that they have like the lab, the production lab in some place, which is very well. You pay less rent. You don't need a fancy place for that, and then from there they deliver to the different stores that are in well-known places, more fashion, like with that stand, and where they pay much more rent. So basically, the idea is to move the production to some place where you can be more comfortable to produce, and then sell it in the stores. But the bakery produces every day, and even all the during the day, the bakery delivers more than one time, not only in the morning.
Of course,
there are several, like 2-3 times.
Yeah. This is the way where we're going. Have you got in mind something like for next years? Do you think can be a concept that can be replicated in some other place or something? What's your next plan? I mean,
well, the idea, I think, it's to keep in this setting where you have like the production in some place where it's where you save some money on the rent, and start producing and sending to different small places. I believe that we have to recover a lot of like the local baker, like the small community bakery, and not to like sell it to the masses like a big supermarket stores. But I think that the people appreciate like to know the baker, to know the people. So and that in Italy was something that I appreciate a lot, because where I was living, we had a local baker, and we used to go and we knew the guy, and here in Colombia, so to open like local bakeries and all served by the lab. That's
okay. Which part of Italy you lived?
In the north. I lived in Vicenza, Verona, and then in Milan.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. Stefano, there's anything from the guys watching us? Any questions? Anything?
No. Greetings from a lot of people who follow the live. And Gino, thank you for attention. Thank you for your description. It was very interesting. And thanks to Alberto.
Thanks to you, Stefano. And thanks to Gino, of course.
Anyone who wants to to open or to have an idea of an Esmach Lab, I'm very, very committed to promoting the idea, because I think it was wonderful. My experience has been fantastic. Yeah, really changed my life.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gino. Thank you. Okay. You can review the live on our social network of Esmach, or on Gino Rodriguez Facebook page. And see you to the next live. Thank you, Gino. It's a pleasure to speak with you. As a fantastic experience when I come with you to make bread, to make pizza. Is a fantastic experience. Thank you very much.
We'll be back.
Thank you.
We hope so.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.